Wen Jiang, c. 733 to 673 BCE, was the daughter of Duke Shi of Qi during China's spring and autumn period. She was not only renowned for her beauty, but also well-read from an early age, possessing extensive knowledge, a quick and agile mind, refined manners of speech, and great eloquence. She was regarded as a talented and accomplished woman. The state of Qi was a major power, and Wen Jiang was both beautiful and highly talented. As a result, many rulers and princes from the various feudal states took the opportunity to travel to Qi to curry favor with Duke Shi of Qi. Crown Prince Hu of the state of Jing was known for his firm resolve, strong character, and good reputation, and Duke Shi of Qi intended to marry Wen Jiang to Crown Prince Hu of Jing. However, Duke Shi of Qi's goodwill was declined by Crown Prince Hu, which left everyone greatly puzzled and unable to understand his decision. When someone asked Crown Prince Hu why he had refused, he replied, "Everyone has a spouse destined for them. Qi is a great state, but it is not my destined match." The Book of Songs says, "Seek your own good fortune. What really matters is one's own ability. What use is it to rely on a powerful state?" Later, the northern Rong tribes invaded Qi, and Qi sent envoys to the state of Jing to request military assistance. Jing dispatched Crown Prince Hu to lead an army to aid Qi. The Jing forces inflicted a crushing defeat on the northern Rong army, capturing two of their generals, Daliang and Shaoliang, and taking the heads of 300 armored warriors. A formal ceremony for presenting the captives was then held in Qi. After Crown Prince Hu defeated the northern Rong forces, Duke Shi of Qi once again sought to betroth his daughter to him, but Crown Prince Hu resolutely declined yet again. When asked once more why he refused, Crown Prince Hu said, "When I had done nothing for Qi, I did not dare to accept this marriage. Now I have come to Qi in its hour of crisis under my ruler and father's command, and if I were to return home having taken a wife, it would be as if I had gone to war for the sake of marriage. What would the people say of me?" He therefore informed his father, Duke Zhuang of Jing, and declined the marriage proposal. During the spring and autumn period, the feudal states often formed alliances through marriage, and powerful states also used such ties to exert control over smaller ones. Crown Prince Hu of Jing rejected marriage proposals from the great state of Qi twice in order to free Jing from Qi's domination and to rely on his own strength for independent development. From this story later came the idiom Qi defei ou, meaning a great state is no suitable match. Crown Prince Hu of Jing's refusal dealt a severe blow to Wen Jiang, the princess of Qi who had been favored by heaven since childhood, exceptionally outstanding and showered with universal admiration. Her pride was shattered, she found it impossible to accept the rejection, felt deeply humiliated, and became the object of ridicule. As a result, she fell seriously ill and never recovered. Fortunately, when Jiang's half-brother Zhuer visited her often, tended to her with great care, and showed constant concern, which helped the emotionally despondent Wen Jiang regain her spirits. When Jiang and Zhuer had grown up together in the palace, studying and practicing calligraphy side by side, playing together, and sharing a very close bond. As an adult, Zhuer was also handsome, dignified in bearing, and graceful in manner. At the moment when Wen Jiang was most emotionally vulnerable, Zhuer's affection led these childhood sweethearts, once innocent and pure, to break through the constraints of ancient moral norms. An illicit love took root between them and soon became impossible to stop. When Duke Shi of Qi learned of this, his anger was beyond restraint. Although people in ancient times may not have understood the serious genetic risks associated with incest, in traditional Chinese culture a sexual relationship between brother and sister was regarded as an absolute disgrace to the family. Duke Huan of Lu, 729 to 694 BCE, surnamed Ji and given name Yun, was the 15th ruler of the state of Lu during the spring and autumn period, and the legitimate eldest son of Duke Hui of Lu. His mother, Lady Zhongzi, had originally been the fiancée of Duke Hui's elder son by a concubine, Shigu. Because of her exceptional beauty, she was taken by Duke Hui and made his principal wife, and she gave birth to Prince Yun, who was then designated Crown Prince. When Duke Hui died, Yun was still too young to rule, so his half-brother Shigu ascended the throne and governed in his place. Shigu became ruler specifically to preserve the throne for Yun and intended to yield it to him in due time. In 712 BCE, Crown Prince Ji was incited by the powerful minister Yu Fu and sent assassins to kill his elder half-brother Shigu, thereby seizing the throne and becoming Duke Huan of Lu. In the third year of Duke Huan's reign, acting on the advice of his ministers, he took advantage of the fact that Crown Prince Hu of Jing had refused to marry Wen Jiang, the princess of Qi, and sought a marriage alliance with Qi in order to secure the protection of a great power. At this time, Duke Shi of Qi was still troubled by the disgrace of incest among his children, and he immediately agreed to the marriage proposal. Duke Huan was overjoyed. 3 years later, when Jiang bore him a son, Prince Tong, who was duly designated Crown Prince in 694 BCE, Duke Huan of Lu planned to travel to the state of Qi to discuss important affairs with Duke Xiang of Qi, Wen Jiang's brother, Zhu'er. By this time, Wen Jiang had been married into the Lu state for 15 years. She wished to accompany Duke Huan, but was opposed by the Lu minister Shen Su, who said, "A woman belongs to her family, a man to his household. They should not be together, this is proper conduct. To do otherwise will surely lead to disaster." However, Duke Huan, deeply attached to his wife, ignored his minister's advice and insisted on taking Wen Jiang with him to Qi, thereby inviting mortal danger. When Duke Xiang of Qi heard that Duke Huan of Lu was visiting with his wife Wen Jiang, he was overjoyed, personally went to welcome them, and treated them warmly. During Duke Shi of Qi's lifetime, he had feared that a meeting between the siblings would rekindle past feelings and bring shame to the family, so he had repeatedly refused Wen Jiang's requests to return to Qi. After many years apart, Wen Jiang and her brother Jiang Zhu'er could only long for each other from afar. Upon meeting again, their emotions proved uncontrollable, and they soon became involved in a scandal, one that quickly became known throughout the Qi palace. The incident caused Duke Huan of Lu extreme embarrassment and anger, and he harshly reprimanded Wen Jiang. Wen Jiang, who had always been dearly loved by her husband, felt deeply wronged and, in a moment of childish impulsiveness, ran to Jiang Zhu'er to pour out her heart in tears. This enraged Duke Xiang of Qi. In order to cover up the scandal, he resolved to have Duke Huan of Lu killed. Duke Xiang hosted a banquet in Duke Huan's honor, got him drunk, and then sent Prince Pengxing to escort him back to his inn. Along the way, Duke Huan was murdered. Sadly, Duke Huan's deep love for his wife and his disregard for his minister's warnings had brought about his own death. In his early years, when Duke Huan of Lu was still crown prince and eager to ascend the throne, he had even sent assassins to kill his innocent half-brother, Duke Yin of Lu. Now, having been murdered by his shameless and wicked father-in-law, one could say it was a case of karmic retribution in the Buddhist sense, evil begets evil. Misfortune did not spare Duke Xiang of Qi either. A year later, he was killed in a coup orchestrated by his cousin, Gongsun Wuji, together with Qi ministers Lianqing and Guan Jifu. Remarkably, the whole affair was not sparked by a major state conflict or deep family feud, but by a seemingly trivial matter. In 686 BCE, Duke Xiang of Qi sent the ministers Lianqing and Guan Jifu to garrison at Kuiqiu, a post with harsh and difficult conditions. They were to serve there until the next harvest season, at which point replacements would be sent. Lianqing and Guan Jifu remained stationed at Kuiqiu for a full year, but when the harvest season arrived, Duke Xiang did not send anyone to relieve them. They requested replacements, but Duke Xiang refused, which greatly angered Lianqing and Guan Jifu. Gongsun Wuji was the nephew of Duke Shi of Qi. In his early years, he was deeply favored by his uncle, enjoying salaries, clothing, and living privileges equal to those of Crown Prince Zhu'er, which caused the Crown Prince to feel jealous. After Duke Xiang of Qi assumed power, he reduced Gongsun Wuji's salary and rank of attire, which led Gongsun Wuji to harbor resentment toward Duke Xiang. Thus, Lianqing and Guan Jifu conspired with Gongsun Wuji to launch a rebellion. Among the conspirators was even a concubine who had not been favored by Duke Xiang. She was the cousin of Minister Lianqing. Gongsun Wuji promised her that if the plot succeeded, she would become his wife. A woman betraying her own husband for nothing more than an unreliable and hollow promise, what kind of world is this? It is utterly shameless. When people lose their goodness and their humanity, they become worse than beasts.